Okay, so what we're looking at here is a preview of the 3.0 version, upcoming version of the Jazz platform and the tools that are built upon that platform for requirements management, change and configuration management, and for quality management. So I've got three different browser tabs opened for each of those roles. This is the requirements management perspective. Uh, this is the change and configuration management perspective from Rational Team Concert. And this is the quality management perspective from Rational Quality Manager, all running on top of a single server. So all three tools united and built upon a common foundation. And the reason we do that is to enable data sharing across those three key roles of business analyst, developer, and tester. And the goal, what we're trying to get to, is that each of these three roles shares the key artifact of their domain with the other two roles. So, as an example, what the key artifact for the business analyst is the requirement. And so, for the business analyst to better collaborate with the team, he needs to manage and keep track of all those requirements, but also be able to see and have visibility to what work items or plan items are actually implementing that requirement, as well as which test cases are going to actually validate that requirement. Now, for the developer, what we'll want to get to is a state where you're working primarily against those plan or work items, but to have visibility to information about what requirements are driving those work items and which test cases are validating them. And then finally, and probably most importantly from the testing perspective, you'll want to know you'll want to see your primary artifact, the test cases, and have an interface to manage all those, which Quality Manager does very well. But to have those links back to see what requirements those test cases are validating and what work items are actually the test cases are also validating. What chunks of code is this test validating? So let's have a look. Let's start with requirements, and we're in the requirements management tool here. And what you can see is the primary interface for managing those requirements. And this is a list of the requirements. There's some of the requirement information. I can drill down and inspect that. But I can also see what work or plan items actually implement those requirements. And then here I can see which test cases actually validate those requirements. And I can hover over each one of these if I'm a business analyst to get all of the key information about those related artifacts to see how they impact my requirements. I can see the points for this particular item and what the priority is. And then if I flip over to the test, I can see all the testing information associated with that. If I want to, I can even drill down on this. So if I want to get more information about this particular work item, I can click on it, and I'll be taken to the change and configuration management tool, Rational Team Concert. So I've actually moved from my requirements management tool to my change and configuration management tool, Team Concert. And now I'm seeing the exact same information that the developer sees. And here I have the full information about this particular work item. It happens to be a story. I can see the points associated with it. I can see what team area. I can see who owns it. I can see the priority, when this is planned for, etc. And of course, I can see the links to the related artifacts. So from the development perspective, I can see for this work item what requirement is actually driving this particular work item and all the information related to that work item. And I can also see the test that's validating this particular work item. Now, if I flip back and actually start from the developer's dashboard, obviously I want to see that information about the related requirements, the related test cases, but I want to see it from the perspective, from the view of a developer, where it's really a work item centric view that shows the integration or the links to the other artifacts. So primarily this interface is for managing those work items, but how does it relate to the test plan? How does it relate to the requirements collection? So one of the main ways of managing information in Team Concert is through shared queries, or through queries really. And if I look down here, I've got a series of lifecycle queries, and these are the ones that show me related information to my work. So I can see, which of my defects are affecting requirements, which of my defects are blocking tests, which of my plan items have been tested successfully, so which are ready to go, which, as an example, which of my work items have not been tested yet. So we can just run that query as an example, and I can see a list of all of my plan items, all of my work items, and I can see the test cases that validate them. But for every one of these work items, the test actually hasn't been run yet. So I can get an idea of how things are progressing in the QA world directly from my developer's desktop. Finally, let me flip over to the quality management view here from Rational Quality Manager, and this is my desktop for the quality professional. And the quality professional wants to see all of the information within the context of the main artifacts that the quality professional works with, and that's the test plan. So let me open up a test plan here, and we'll pick one. We'll pick this primary test plan here. And as a quality professional, I work from the test plan. I have all the information associated to the test plan that's important to me: test suites, test cases, test schedules, risk assessment, etc. But I also have links back to the development plan so that I can keep an eye on how progress is being made in the development world. And here I see the release backlog, and I can see that, they're just a little bit over halfway done on the backlog for this release. So I can get an idea of the progress that's being made on the actual development of the things that I need to test. And I can flip back and take a look at the requirements. So I can drill down here, and I can link back to all the different requirements that this particular test plan is validating. So you can start to see the benefit of having your software delivery team united on a common platform here, where everybody works within their own context, managing their key requirements. The analyst really focuses on managing requirements, but has visibility to the other domains, can see which work items are implementing the requirements and which test cases are validating the requirements. The developer has the ability to go in and work from a developer-centric context, see all of their work items, manage the change of those work items, but also see what requirements are driving them and which tests are validating them. And finally, the tester, working from the quality management perspective of Rational Quality Manager, can work primarily on testing information, testing artifacts, everything built around that test plan, but has also peripheral visibility to the requirements that are driving the tests and to the development items that are actually implementing the requirements that need to be tested. And all of this is because these three primary roles are built upon a common platform that provides not only a common look and feel, as you saw, but enables a process flow and data sharing between those three key roles.